These trading patterns have made me a millionaire trading crypto, and in this video I will teach you how you too will be able to spot them in real time, trade them with precision and profit from them like a pro. So let's get into the first pattern, Penant. This is one of my favorite patterns and I've made some of my biggest gains with this pattern. After a big move, price usually compresses, often forming a bullish pennant. You will see lower highs and higher lows, creating a triangle pattern, also called a pennant. You can both get bullish pennants, but you can also get bearish pennants. Now, it is not a reversal pattern, it is a continuation pattern. Just a short pause before it continues in the direction of the larger trend. Now, volume typically drops during the pennant and then spikes at the breakout, like it is usually doing with breakout patterns. When you spot a pennant, it is pretty easy to trade. For pennants, you just grab the flagpole from the point low to the point high and then extend the flagpole to the point of the breakout at that previous low, and then you will get your breakout target. In this case, the breakout target for this Bitcoin breakout was sitting at the 96k level, and you can see that Bitcoin perfectly hit that target and continued this breakout to the upside. Now, pennants have a 60% to 70% chance of continuing the trend, which is why it is loved by so many traders. And important to know that for most of these patterns, we almost always have a bullish pattern and also on the flip side, a bearish pattern. If price develops another pennant while coming inside of this pennant with bearish momentum, it's called a bearish pennant, and also a break to the downside will be more likely. Anyways, the second most common patterns that we can be seeing are triangle patterns, and these are very similar to pennants, but just a little bit different. These are the three types of triangle patterns that we can get. First, symmetrical triangle patterns, then ascending triangle patterns, and also descending triangle patterns. Now, symmetrical triangle patterns usually indicate a continuation or a reversal. It's a 50-50% decision. However, ascending and descending triangle patterns are usually a continuation pattern, with ascending triangles being more bullish and descending triangles being more bearish. Because over here with an ascending triangle, you can see the Bitcoin price or any cryptocurrency price is still making higher lows while it is testing a level of resistance all of the time. So that's still bullish and is showing strength in price action, while the descending triangle, it is creating lower highs and is showing weakness. So yeah, ascending triangle bullish, descending triangle bearish. Now, triangle patterns are very common and easy to trade. To find your target, just measure the height of the triangle right at the creation, place it at the point of the breakout, and there you go. You have your breakout target, in this case, Bitcoin reaching the 23k level, which it did in this case in a matter of 2 candles. A very explosive breakout we got over here. Now, usually during triangle patterns as well, we tend to get squeezed in with volume getting lower and lower, and then at the point of the breakout, at the point of the apex, coming close towards the near end of a triangle pattern, then we always tend to see a very explosive breakout. Just like we can be seeing over here, volume has been dropping over here, and at the point of the breakout, we saw volume increasing. So very valid pattern to be trading, and this was a perfect breakout we got. Now, pro tip, whenever the volume is dropping, always closely look at the price, because usually we always create some kind of a breakout pattern. In this case, an ascending triangle. Anyways, having a look into the next pattern, these are going to be bull and bear flags. Now, these are going to be another continuation pattern and tend to get created after an already big move, either to the upside or to the downside. We have created a lot of bear flag patterns during the last bear market, and for example during this bull market we've also been creating a bull flag over here after a big move move to the upside already. Bitcoin has been creating a bull flag pattern, and at the point of the breakout, we saw an amazing, very significant breakout to the upside. Now, once again, measuring the breakout target of this bull flag, just grab the flagpole and then place it at the lowest point of the bull flag pattern, and there you go, you have your target sitting at the 61k level, which once again Bitcoin has reached this target very quickly. Flags are very reliable because they're simply pauses in a trending market, and traders love them for their clean structure and their high continuation odds. Bull and bear flag patterns are definitely one of my favorite patterns to be trading in the market. But having a look into the next one, cup and handle patterns. And in the past, Bitcoin has created a huge and one of the biggest cup and handle patterns ever in history. Since the last bull market top, we've been creating this cup and handle pattern with a huge rounding bottom, then creating the handle, and after that we've been seeing a very clean breakout to the upside. Now still, Bitcoin is nowhere near reaching the price target of this cup and handle pattern, because measuring this target, we just measure the top to the bottom and in that case extend it once again to the breakout. And we do have a breakout target sitting at the 125k level, which is still an active target for the Bitcoin price. Now, cup and handle patterns are much easier to be traded in longer time frames. For example, on this weekly time frame for Bitcoin, in my personal opinion, but they take a lot of time to develop and to play out. So you need to be patient. However, very good pattern to be trading for that longer time frame. And we've been trading this pattern very beautifully as well. And having a look into the next pattern, by the way, soon we will be reaching my favorite pattern to be trading. It's mind-blowing how accurate this pattern will be on the Bitcoin price. However, let's have a look into the next pattern, channels. And you can both have ascending channels, descending channels, or just sideways channels. At this moment, as of recording this video, Bitcoin is actually trading in a sideways channel, and we can both see a breakout to the upside or to the downside. It's just going to be the deciding factor when we're going to be seeing the breakout. It's a 50-50% chance, but both in the case of a break to the upside or to the downside, we can easily measure the price target by measuring the height with the trend line, place it on top of the breakout, and there you go, we have a breakout target sitting at 120k Bitcoin, or in the case of a break to the downside, we do have a breakout target sitting at the 91.6k level. So these are going to be some active targets you need to look out for if you watch this video urgently, or if you watch this video later, just go back in time and see what happened with this breakout. Now, like I mentioned, you can also have ascending channels and also descending channels. Ascending channels are typically more bearish. However, descending channels are typically more bullish and tend to break out to the upside more often. However, I myself am not too fan to be trading ascending and descending channels. I'm more a fan of trading sideways markets because these are more ranges, and range trading is also one of the best ways to be trading the Bitcoin market. Having a look into the next pattern, these are going to be broadening wedges. And one example we can be seeing over here, where we actually saw an ascending broadening wedge. Now, important to know about broadening wedges, again, is that you can have sideways broadening wedges, or also called megaphone patterns. You can get ascending broadening wedges or descending broadening wedges. So yeah, right here in this case, we are seeing an ascending broadening wedge to the upside. However, this is usually a bearish pattern, and usually, more often than not, we tend to see a break to the downside. However, in this case, the trend for the Bitcoin price was just too strong, and we still got a breakout to the upside. Now, to measure this breakout target, very easy once again, just measure the height at the beginning point over here and extend it at the point of the breakout. Now, this is not a huge target. It's not a huge breakout, but it is just another consolidation pattern that sometimes I like to have a look into. Now, it's not my favorite pattern to trade. However, you should be aware of this one and you should know of this. However, the next pattern, I absolutely love it. It's my favorite pattern and it has shown a lot of significance in the Bitcoin market. I'm talking about wedges, and especially falling wedges at this current moment, because the Bitcoin price just usually tends to trend to the upside. And just have a look into this chart here. All of the time, whenever the Bitcoin price has been creating falling wedge patterns, which it does very often, we always tend to get a very bullish breakout to the upside, continue the trend to the upside, and they tend to give us very good opportunities in the market. So I personally absolutely love falling wedge patterns. They tend to be so accurate, especially during this bull market. Now, the official breakout target is the point high at the creation of such a pattern. So for example, for this falling wedge pattern here, the breakout target was sitting at the 67k level, approximately these previous all-time highs. For in the case of this breakout target over here, it was sitting at the 72k level. For this breakout target, it is exactly sitting at the 105k level. So yeah, these patterns tend to be very accurate, especially for this bull market, and I'm sure for the next bear market they will be very accurate too, because just zooming in, we could be seeing a lot of falling wedges too getting created during the last bear market. So I do think that during the next bear market that we will be getting rising wedge patterns are also going to be extremely accurate. And for Bitcoin, this has been the best pattern to be trading, and that is why I love it so much, and I've been making a lot of freaking money because of this pattern. By the way, if you want to see exactly which of these patterns I personally trade in real time and when I enter and exit, I cover all of my trades live inside my premium platinum group, which is free to join. You can join it for free with the first link below, and on top of that, you can claim up to $30,000 in deposit bonuses over on weeks. So if you're interested in trading and following my trades that I'm sharing in my group, make sure to join with that first link below. Now, having a look into the next pattern, head and shoulder patterns. Now, I'm not talking about the shampoo. This one is a real reversal pattern, and it works both on tops and bottoms. I love it because they tend to have very significant breakout targets. It is crucial to know this pattern, and you've got three parts: the left shoulder, the head, and then also the right shoulder. And then you also have a neckline, a level of resistance or support, depending if you're having a look into an inverse head and shoulders pattern or a normal head and shoulders pattern. In this case, we're having a look into an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and this is the neckline. Whenever we do break above the neckline, we do have a breakout target, measuring it from the point low to the neckline over here, putting it at the point of the breakout. We do have a breakout target sitting at 146k level. So that is insane. The breakout target is insane, and that is the reason why I love it so much. Now you can also have normal head and shoulders patterns. For example, during the last bull market top, we have seen this head and shoulder pattern getting created over here. We broke down below the neckline, and that was the start of the real big bear market that we got. So at the top, this is a bearish reversal pattern, but at the bottom, like we are seeing right now, this is a bullish reversal pattern as well. But in this case, it's just a continuation pattern for that larger trend. I love it because of the huge potential. However, the next pattern is a lot more reliable. Double top patterns or double bottom patterns are very reliable in the market. Whenever you spot them and they tend to see a breakout, they always tend to reach their targets. For example, during the last bull market top, we have seen a double top pattern getting created, and at the point of this neckline breakout to the downside, again, we started the bear market. And during that bull market before, well, we have seen a big double bottom pattern being created, and whenever we broke above the neckline, we saw a huge explosive move to the upside. Now you can have a look into these patterns in the longer time frame, but also they are very accurate in the shorter time frame. For example, on an hourly time frame, 15-minute time frame, or even a minute or 5-minute time frame. They just tend to be very accurate, both on shorter time frames and also on longer time frames. Now to measure the official breakout target, you just once again get the bottom to the point of the neckline and then place the height at the point of the breakout. And like you can see, we only got a breakout target of 21k, but still Bitcoin easily smashed through that and easily hit that target. Now, of course, you've got a double top and double bottoms, but very important to mention as well is that we've also got triple tops and triple bottoms. Now these are very similar to double tops and double bottoms, but these triple bottoms are just a lot more rare. They don't typically come and show pretty often, but however, over here for the Bitcoin price, we did create a triple bottom. We got a breakout of the neckline and we perfectly smashed to the upside with new highs being created. So they are a lot more rare, but they are still very powerful whenever they do show. So you should be aware of this pattern. And yeah, just be aware of it and know this pattern, triple tops and triple bottoms. Now the next one are going to be rounding tops and rounding bottoms. They are just very, very accurate because they show a clear structure of the trend. They clearly show us what price action is doing. For example, over here we saw a clear rounding top getting created, and because of that rounding top, we saw a loss of momentum, and eventually the Bitcoin price rolled over and we got a huge move to the downside over here. Now they are very easy to spot because every single move to the upside is getting less and less powerful and less impulsive. And then eventually the Bitcoin price just rolls over, or any cryptocurrency price just rolls over, and then just sees a huge crash to the downside. This is usually what happens with rounding tops or rounding bottoms, and you can see it getting created very often. Also, even during this bear market bottom, you can also see that we created some kind of a rounding bottom over here, and eventually we saw a huge move to the upside, right? Rounding tops and rounding bottoms tend to be very powerful and tend to indicate reversals in cryptocurrency prices. Now the last pattern is going to be quite rare. Just like diamonds, they are quite rare. Now whenever they do form, it is usually very big. It starts like a broadening pattern, but then ends in a symmetrical triangle pattern, and yeah, they just tend to create this diamond shaped pattern. Now they often do mark massive reversals, so usually whenever you lead into them with bullish price action, we tend to see a break to the downside. In this case, we actually saw a continuation. That is why you always want to have a look into which direction the Bitcoin price actually breaks in towards. In this case, we saw a break to the upside, and at the point of the break to the upside, you of course already did know that we were gonna see this continuation of the trend. Anyways, measuring the price target is once again a flag ball, extending it to the point of the point low from the diamond pattern, and there you go, you have the breakout target sitting at the 91k level, which we exactly smashed through. Now in case of diamond patterns, you can also measure it from the height of the diamond pattern, and in this case, yeah, you would have a breakout target sitting at an 89.7k level. So yeah, it doesn't really matter for diamond patterns. They tend to be a lot more rare. They do not come and show often, but when they do, it is usually pretty big. Anyways, these are all of the patterns you should know about. Anyways, here is the truth. Knowing these patterns is only step one. You'll still need to build your own strategy, news that happen, the sentiment, on-chain analysis, and many more things you need to track. And I cover all of that every day, uploading daily technical analysis videos. So if you're serious about becoming a pro-level trader, subscribe, hit that bell, and go check my latest analysis videos to see what I think about the market now and how I'm trading it now.